What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Left Metal. This is Trog, and we are going to be doing 1976.
Yes, sir. Bicentennial, American Bicentennial.
Our top 10. We came to a little more of an agreement than we had in the last few.
Yeah, I think we had 5 or 6 in common.
5 or 6 in common. And so yeah, we'll do a top 15 basically, is what
Something
it is,
like
or
that,
something in that area. But we're going to start off with some of the ones that didn't make the list that deserve to be on the list, and we did cut some out. We don't have everything in here that we were. There's quite a few actually, but
Did we?
yeah, definitely did.
All right. All right. So this one, self-titled, Yesterday and Today. You might know them better as Y&T. This was their debut album, 1976. That's hard to believe. And I remember when I first started getting into Y&T, this one and the one after in '78, Struck Down, were really hard to find. Not so hard today.
No, there you can see them find them pretty much easy. Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, it was hard to come by.
Before the internet, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And this one, it's definitely more of a 70s hard rock sound. It's not quite as heavy as something like Earthshaker or Black Sabbath.
It's just hard
It's
rock.
just hard rock, so you don't piss all over it before you listen to it. And then it's on the London label, which is, Thin Lizzy was on London, and a bunch of other people I can't think of.
Not really known for heavy music, because even Thin Lizzy at the time were more of the...
Yeah, it was the... oh wait, they weren't on London, they were on Decca.
You're right.
Maybe London was their American one. I think
Perhaps.
maybe America was London and Decca was... Are they even around anymore?
I doubt it.
I haven't seen a London or Decca. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. What's on here? 25 Hours a Day kind of made it into their later sets. They used to play it live. The song Earthshaker is on here, which is cool, where they got the title of their third album. Alcohol was kind of a funny tune. Beautiful Dreamer was another kind of well-known one off of this one. It's good rock.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't like it as much as their later stuff, but it's cool to hear the Brutes.
Yeah, their third, fourth, and fifth albums are just like
the
trifecta of perfection.
Oh yeah, yep. So pretty much we've lost original lineup of Y&T. Everyone's gone except Dave.
Dave Meniketti.
I mean, like Dad. Dave's still got Y&T going, and he's been actually doing pretty well with it. So yeah, Yesterday and Today debut. They took their name from the Beatles compilation called Yesterday and Today. That's where it came from. Y&T.
But you gotta show another one, because the next one's a really good one.
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Kansas. This was album number 4.
I believe so.
Kansas, Mask, Song for America, Left Overture. Yeah, album number 4. This was the one really that broke them. This was the one that had their biggest signature hit, Carry On Wayward Son. But really, the whole thing is great.
Yep, it varies. Very good album, the whole thing. And that's one of those songs that gets played too much, but I still love that song.
Still sounds great. Yep. It's one of them you just never get sick of. There's nothing on here I don't like. Miracles Out of Nowhere, awesome. What's on My Mind is one of my favorites. And then side 2 has got some lengthier stuff, some of their more prog leanings. But yeah, Left Overture, cool play on words. Early version of their now famous logo. It's a little bit different than the one that would appear on Dust in the Wind and later albums, but this is where it first showed up. No, actually not true. It was on Song of America too. Kansas.
I'm going with Canadian band April Wine. This was obviously before they were very known in America. This was...
It looks like a Cat Stevens album. I bet you it's the same artist.
Could be.
T for the Tiller Man. Yeah. I think it was called.
It's actually kind of cool because it's debossed, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome. They used to really put some work into album covers back in the 70s.
So it's on the Aquarius label, which is a Canadian label. They were huge in Canada long before they became popular in the U.S. They kind of had some hits, but then Nature of the Beast is what really blew up in the U.S. and made them kind of a name.
Really?
But
just between you and me, probably the biggest song ever.
Yeah. That one and what's the other huge song on that album? The
I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, me either. Anyhow,
Sign of the Gypsy Queen?
That's it.
Yeah.
But just very good, straightforward hard rock. You've got most of the songs on here written by Godwin.
I don't know his name either.
Daggone it.
Such language. It's like it's 1976.
And yeah, there's kind of a cool picture thing in here anyhow, so. Miles Goodwin. Jeez.
Miles Goodwin.
Yeah.
Hardy Canadian
who
name.
pretty much was April Wine all the way. I guess they still do stuff. So with him in it, only album he didn't play on was the first album, the self-titled album. And then he came after that, and kind of took it over. But yeah, just if you like April Wine, it's really not that far off from what April Wine is known for. Just
This was the
melodic, heavy, hard
second,
rock.
third?
This is the third or
Okay.
fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe even the fifth, because they had a live album before this one too.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Not super familiar with April Wine, I must say.
yeah, I always like the cover of this one.
It almost looks like it'd be a Genesis album too.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, kind of has that look of that. Remember the Genesis was on that label that always had that.
Yep. Yes, that's exactly what I'm seeing.
Yep.
That's right.
Wasn't it Chrysalis? Was it?
No, not Chrysalis. It was.
Damn
it!
Yep.
The
Anyhow.
damn it label.
Yeah, I can't remember what the label was either.
That's what it is. That's why I'm seeing it.
Yeah, good. Solid hard rock. And with melody, they're very melodic. They've always been very melodic. They've got great melody, lots of, especially like vocal hooks. They always had great vocal hooks, and that's kind of what you're gonna get with here. So solid album. I like it. Everyone, the whole world's going crazy. Not sure if it was ever. I think it was released in the U.S. at one
Charisma.
point. Charisma, the great Charisma label.
Yep. All right. All right. So we got blah 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 blah. Heart, Dreamboat Annie, the Wilson sisters, beginning of a really long, still going career.
They just got back together again after.
Yep, they're doing their however manyth anniversary tour this year.
After fighting with each other for the last 4 or 5.
Have they really?
Yeah, they were doing their own bands because they got into a fight over.
Oh, I didn't know that they had any trouble between them.
Yeah, something to do with the husband spanking the child with the other or something stupid like that.
Wow, that's like very middle class first world problem right there.
Rock stars have those kind of problems?
Guess so. All right, what was on here? Well, yeah, Magic Man, huge one. Crazy on You. I mean, 2 of their biggest songs ever. So this was a pretty strong debut. Dreambone Annie, the title track, another one, really cool.
Man, her voice on that album,
She just
amazing.
Ann Wilson, one of the greatest female voices in rock ever.
Yep.
And really, Heart, one of the most respected female-based bands. I mean, they had guys playing with them, and they still sound great.
Yep.
They still sound awesome. Last time I saw them was just a few years ago. Still, just amazing show. This one's on the Mushroom Records label, their original kind of real small label.
Out of Canada, right?
I'm not sure. Good question.
Because Heart was
Yes. No, this is, well, yes, Canada.
Yeah, I thought so. Because they were kind of on that. They kind of lived in Canada and the U.S. both, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, because they were in Seattle, British
Yeah.
Columbia kind of thing, real close. It's hard to believe this came out in '76, that there was no Heart really before '76. It's weird, weird to think about because
by 78 they were huge.
Yeah, and I see this album and I just think Heart's been around forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Heart, good album, and they only got better.
Very organic album too.
Yes,
So
very.
They became very poppy in the 80s, but
Yep.
go ahead and do another one.
All right, another classic rock staple, Bad Company, Run with the Pack.
And that song is awesome.
Yeah, great one. Another great track on here is Live for the Music. That's another one of the one that doesn't always make it to the greatest hits, but it's another one of their great tracks. Do Right by Your Woman, another cool tune. Simple Man, Love, Silver, Blue, and Gold. Young Blood, which is it's an old Lieber Stoller song from the 50s. They did a cover of it. Young Blood, I can't get you out of my mind.
I can't even think of the title track without thinking of that slow burn of the title, the chorus on that one. Running with the pack. Yeah, it's got this. Right, it's got that. Like I said, slow burn. It's just.
Yep.
I don't know what.
And cool cover. It's another one that's got the bossing, like you said.
Yeah, and the foils.
What is that? Is that your doorbell again?
That's my doorbell.
And yeah, the cool silver foil cover. You don't really see this stuff much anymore.
No.
But there were a lot of albums in the 70s that had it.
And even
Grand
early
Funk for
80s.
American Band.
What was the album with the Grand Funk album with the silver, shaped as a coin?
Oh yeah, E Pluribus Funk.
Yep, Pluribus Funk. See Queen's.
The Game.
The Game,
Yep,
yep.
that's true.
That was all that.
Glad you're coming up with a few because I went blank.
Kiss Dynasty. No,
double
that's
platinum.
double platinum.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. And the only thing that sucked about them is when they got old and they started peeling and shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, now they're not so cool, are they?
Right. All right, another Canadian band. Wow, a lot of Canadian bands here, huh?
Mahogany Rush.
Mahogany Rush. This would have been the 4th album. That's a very clever title.
It's right on the title.
It's clever.
It's almost stupid.
I always liked
And
this
this
album.
is just Mahogany Rush. It's not Frank Marino.
Mahogany Rush. The first 4 albums were just Mahogany Rush, and
But he was in the band.
oh, of course.
Okay.
Yep, they were a. If I'm not mistaken, they were a power trio at the time. Yes, power trio. So yeah, Paul Harwood, Jim Ayob, and Frank Marino.
Oh, this is just multiple pictures of all of them. I was going to
Yes.
say, that's a huge friggin' band.
And this is my copy. I love my copy.
What is it?
I've actually had copies that are in better condition, but there's just something about that.
It's the wear.
It's
the way it
aged.
wore.
Yeah, it aged right. It's got that,
It's seasoned.
it's got a little bit of rust on it, and I like the rust.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, some records they age and they've got a little bit of ring wear, but they still look cool because they just look vintage.
Yep.
And some of them, like like any White album,
Oh, yeah.
ages horribly.
Draw the line.
And they look like
Especially
crap.
if it's a White album on uncoated stock, like
Yes.
Draw the Line.
Or the Beatles' White album.
Or the
Some of
Beatles'
those
White
look
album.
pretty awful.
But anyhow, this one, I just loved it. But anyhow, this is a pretty popular album. This is probably the most popular Mahogany Rush album of the first 4, only because it had a slight hit on it called Dragonfly, which is a freaking brilliant song, but the whole album is great. He kind of got away from the Hendrix thing of the first 2 albums and was getting more into the heavy psych that he was playing in here, which is, I love Frank Marino, one of my
I gotta
all-time
check
favorite
that
guitar
out.
players.
I think I have Juggernaut, and you gave it to me.
I love Juggernaut.
I don't have any other Mahogany Rush.
But the thing about this album was actually I just did a video like a week or 2 ago, and I showed the same record. Just happened that way, not because of this video. And
Like your most well-aged albums. in
no,
your
it was just what I've been listening to recently because I had 2 weeks off from work, so I was just listening to a lot of music.
Cool.
Anyhow, and my bucket list. I would love to meet Frank Marino one of these days. Love to meet him.
Surprised you haven't yet.
I would love to meet the guy. So Frank, if you watch this video, I'd love to meet you, dude. Just for a minute,
since we're doing that, I really would like to meet Jerry Cantrell
Yeah.
and just have a sit down and chat. Bill Ward.
Ace
those are-
Frehley.
Yeah, he used to be cool, but those are my top ones: Jerry Cantrell and Bill Ward. I can't think of anyone else.
I could think of a few, but
But those are the 2 that are like right there. I would love to meet those guys. There's not a lot on that list.
with a guy like Frank Marino, I just like to meet him just long enough to shake his hand, say I love your music, and say, will you please sign this to me?
See, I'd like to actually chat with Jerry and Bill. Tell them what their music's meant to me for one thing, because both of them have had a very deep impact on me personally, and not just to get their autographs, just to chat with them and get share some ideas and thoughts. That's all. I know that's asking for a bit much, but all right. Here we have.
Awesome album cover.
Yes, very cool, and one of 2 albums where John Wetton appeared in Uriah Heep. He was also on the Return to Fantasy album, which was the year before. I don't think this wasn't the last. Was this the last one David Byron was on?
I don't remember. I honestly
I
don't
want
remember.
to say it was.
It might be.
I think it is. It's pretty cool. Opening track, One Way or Another, has a great melody hook in it that just immediately grabs you. Nothing else on here is real super well known. Still a strong set though. Still got Mick Box, Ken Hensley and Lee Kearslake in the band.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good album. It's not very heavy.
No, it's
proggy.
proggy.
Never been very heavy. They've always been heavy.
They're heavy in like a purple kind of way.
Yeah, deep purple. Like with the keyboards actually are some of the heaviest parts of it.
Yeah,
And this is not something you think about when you think of hard rock and heavy metal.
Yeah,
But
they're less of a guitar-driven band
Right.
than even Deep Purple gets that way sometimes.
Sometimes.
Richie Blackmore had some killer riffs,
right,
but they weren't like Black Sabbath guitar-driven.
right.
And that's the same thing here. I think the keyboards definitely were the prominent.
It was part of the heaviness of the band was the keyboards, which is just unusual and why a lot of people now would not classify them in that
Right, it's
first
like
wave.
when I think of Mick Box, I don't think, oh, what's your favorite Mick Box riff? Like, no, they're not really a riff band.
Right.
I don't see them that way anyway. But they're just more, they work as a unit.
Yep. All right, next up. Surprising, another Canadian band. Triumph.
Triumph.
Yep.
Debut.
Self-titled album. Wasn't released in the U.S., not like this. It later came out on a compilation of the first 2 albums.
Yeah, and it has a little bit different cover. It's called In the Beginning. It's like a Stonehenge type cover.
And this album is weird because it's got, I don't know, the first 2 albums from Triumph are weird because there's different covers, different mixes of the songs. It's just
there was Triumph and then Rock and Roll Machine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and then
we talked about that one last time.
But it's just a solid, talking about high vocals, not on this particular album, but talking about high vocals coming out of Canada.
Yep, Rick Emmett was definitely up there,
man.
I mean, I don't want to call him a poor man's Rush, but the comparisons are obvious only because 3-piece, kind of proggy,
from Canada,
Canada.
But they're more organic. Is that the right word?
There's a little more rock and roll in Triumph.
A little more earthiness. Yeah.
Than there is in Rush. Rush definitely, I wouldn't call them a full-on prog band.
But they had that prog.
But they were more in that direction. Whereas Triumph still had their one of their foot solidly in the rock and roll world.
Always, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Triumph.
Awesome. We got UK Sweet.
You can't show a Sweet album in a hard and heavy video.
I can't? Why?
Because they're not hard and heavy.
They're not? Well,
no.
Here, let me piss on it first.
Aren't they the guys that did that song? What was that? What was their big hit?
The one about coconuts?
Yeah.
Here, I'm just pissing on this so I can show it to you. All right, now it's okay. Here, look. If you didn't like that, look at this. Those guys at Sweet were so tricky. Look, that cover is
winking at you.
It's winking. All right,
so
this one's this one's opening cut on here is Action, which is one of Sweet's rockinest tunes.
It's such a heavy song.
Totally.
So much so that Raven covered that song.
Yep, and they also covered Hellraiser, and they did it like as a duo, which is great. So much so that I didn't realize that Sweet didn't do it that way. They were separate tunes, but Raven put a really cool comp together on those two. The rest of the stuff, really, no real hits on here. Lies in Your Eyes, sorta.
No, but it's just a good, solid album.
It's a solid album.
It's one of the ones you can put on and listen to, and it's just great.
And once Sweet got away from, the first few albums, they had this wicked calypso vibe going on. It was very weird. It was very early 70s pop, but they hadn't really hit their stride as a hard rock band. And by this time they had.
Yeah.
Probably by Desolation Boulevard they had.
Oh yeah, definitely Desolation Boulevard.
Yeah. Or even Sweet Fanny Adams. That was probably the first real heavy one. So yeah, now that I've pissed on it, I hope you can enjoy it. Sweet, Give Us a Wink, 1976.
I've actually heard John Gallagher say how much he loves this band, and and it really irritates him when people say they're just a pop band. It's like, well, they were at first. There's no denying.
Well, they definitely had a lot of pop sensibility. Sure.
Was that big pop song they had? A huge pop song that they had. Dang it.
Early one?
Early, yeah. It was a pop hit. They had some several.
Coco? Oh, hey, honey, honey. Hey, funny, funny. Say, honey, honey, blah, blah, blah. They had some really goofy shit in the
Yep, they did. Anyhow, regardless, we'll just go on.
Again, there was a very much... they had a calypso thing going on, which is so weird.
So, 76, we had 2 releases, sort of.
Sort of. This is more of a compilation.
So every time we do any record, we get the little chimes.
It's very magical. All right, so...
AC/DC.
AC/DC Australian version of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Because it didn't come out in the U.S. until the 80s with a different track listing.
Right after Back in Black, because they were trying to capitalize on the success of Back in Black. And it did have different tracks. Like the one that you didn't see in America was Jailbreak was not on the American one, and R.I.P.
R.I.P., yep.
The rest of the tracks were definitely on here. And then they substituted Problem Child. No, Problem Child's on here. Damn, I can't remember.
I know Jailbreak wasn't.
Love at First Feel was on the American one,
right.
But not on the Australian one. Was that it? Yeah, it seems like there's another song or two, but...
Ain't No Fun.
Gonna be some rockin' Problem Child, Squealer, Big Balls.
We should have pulled both. Oh well, whatever.
Well. Anyway, that's the original cover. Wicked cool.
But I can't say that in 1976 I knew anything about that one.
Oh, hell no. We didn't know about this until 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah, so
this was pretty much debut for AC/DC in America.
This was the American debut, and what this was a compilation of
Their first 2 albums, High Voltage in Australia and TNT.
TNT, exactly. And
So there's like the best of those.
man, what an album this is, though.
Yeah, it's still great.
It's just, how does this not make it in our top 10?
I don't know. We always kind of AC/DC is like right on the edge every time we do one of these. It's weird. It's like we want to put them there, but then it's like we can't quite put them there.
Because it's such a great album. I mean,
It is a great album.
I mean, this is like almost reads like a greatest hits just by itself.
Yeah. I mean, TNT is on there.
It's a long way
to
to
the
the top.
top.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Singer is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Little Lover.
Can
High
I
Voltage.
sit next to you, girl?
Which actually, this is not even the original version of that. The
Right.
original version of that tune was on the very first AC/DC EP with Dave Evans, the original singer. So and Rockin' in the Parlor was the B-side.
Yep.
So that was even way back to like 1972.
But yeah, this album definitely deserves to be in the top, whatever we're doing
Yeah.
here, top 30, I think it is. So.
Yeah, this is definitely classic AC/DC.
All right, we got another twofer coming up.
Oh yeah, let's do that. I don't know which one came first. Maybe that one?
I don't remember now.
If Ed King's on that one came first. I think it was that one.
I think so too. But no,
Leonard Skinner, two in a year for this one.
that was not that uncommon in '76, obviously.
No, still wasn't. Oh, this is weird. No, they didn't have 3 guitar players on this one. They only had 2. So I don't remember which one came first. I want to say that one because I don't think any of these tunes are on there. That's their live set. Called from it was from a 2-night gig
Yeah,
that they played. Was it in Atlanta?
I think it was in Atlanta.
It was Atlanta. Can't remember the name of the venue. And then I believe after this is when Ed King left. And then they did Give Me Back My Bullets just with Gary Rossington and Alan Collins on guitar. Because Steve Gaines hadn't joined yet. So, still a 6-man band, but but one of the guitar players was missing.
I always loved the story behind giving back my bullets and how he was he basically was trying to get back his 2 having hit singles so that he could make money, I guess, or be on top, because they just weren't getting the hit singles even though they were still getting the crowds. But then after he put the song out, they had to stop playing it live because 3 people were throwing bullets up on the stage.
Jeez. And I think a lot of this, Ronnie Van Zant was starting to kind of examine his own lifestyle. He was kind of becoming more of a family man and wanted to kind of get things straightened out.
And he wasn't the only one.
Nope.
Because you had two guys in the band that were also had become believers and were like,
At that time?
yeah, because
So that'd be what, Leon Wilkerson and...
yeah, what's the other gun? Dope.
I know Leon. I don't.
They were in Vision. They went on to Vision after the plane crash.
I don't know anything about
Anyhow.
that. Not Billy Powell. Was it Billy?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Piano player?
Yes, it was Billy Powell.
All right, so bass player and piano player. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they played in Vision together.
Title track on here is still one of my favorite Skinner tunes.
That's a great song.
Great riff. There's some great songwriting on here. Every Mother's Son's a great tune. Trust is a great tune. All I Can Do Is Write About It closes it up. Cry for the Bad Man, that's a great one. Searching. It's a solid Leonard Skinner album, and it's even
So is
down
this
to
one.
remember.
It
It is. I mean, that's classic. That's got the classic version of Freebird on it.
Yep.
You know, the 15-minute that.
And also do Crossroads on here, right? Which is Eric Clapton's.
Well, it's Robert Johnson's song.
Robert Johnson.
Cream did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And there's T for Texas is the other cover on here. I can't remember who originally did
I
that.
remember Molly Hatchet used to play that song live too.
T for Texas? Maybe it's Towns Van Zandt? I'm not sure. Your
Your
turn?
Yeah, first
Oh,
wave.
there's a great one.
First wave of British heavy metal. Shocked that it didn't make our top 10. Really, both of us.
Yeah, this is a great album.
How did?
Boy, our top 10 must be really good, huh?
Or I don't know. I just
Or maybe we're just stupid.
stupid. Yeah, Natural Thing. I'm a Loser. Belladonna, one of the more melodic songs on there.
On with the Action is cool.
Yep, you can't see it because it's plastic. Red is a bad color here.
Highway Lady.
Highway. Yep. That's,
Can You Roll Her?
Yep.
Really, I mean, Phil Mogg and UFO wrote some great songs.
And Phil Mogg is such a talent, such
He's
a
like a street poet.
unique
kind of thing.
voice too. You know when Phil Mogg is singing. He doesn't.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not going to mix him up with anybody else.
And they're all done now. They're all done touring.
Yep. Well, they're getting up in their age.
Oh yeah, and I mean Phil is definitely up there. Last time I saw him, he was still great. He looks like an elder statesman now, kinda, but still amazing.
I saw him a few years ago, and it was one of the last dates. I think it was the last date on the tour, and he was missing his front tooth. He had something happened. He knocked his tooth out, so he was going back. And he was going to get it fixed, but and the whole time he's on stage, he's a jokester on stage. He always has been. You know?
Oh yeah, completely.
I mean, even on like the live album, you know, and Stranger Than Night, he's like, they told me to stall for a minute because they're going to change the mics, and he's like, why would you? I'm sure that was not with it. Anyhow, he's always been a jokester.
Yeah,
so.
he's funny. All right.
Of course, Michael Schenker.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And this one actually had an oddball. This was a one-off keyboard player. Danny Peyronel was on there, and he never really appeared again.
Yep.
On them. Otherwise, it's classic lineup. All right. Speaking of kind of oddball albums, this was always Zeppelin's oddball for me. Presence. Although it's got one of my very favorite all-time Zeppelin tunes on it, which is Achilles' Last Stand, the opener. Which reminds me of UFO. Lights Out has some very similar qualities to Achilles' Last Stand. So, this one was recorded after Robert Plant had been in a car accident. He was laid up with a busted foot. Did most of it from a wheelchair, his vocal parts. It's a different album. There's nobody's fault but mine is probably the most well-known cut off of it.
Which is an old blues.
Yeah, it is. It's like their version of an old blues tune.
No.
Yep. Great stuff. It's still a solid album. Great Hypnosis cover. The presence of the object, the black thing, whatever the hell that is, and
They're worshiping it. That must be Satan.
I read the story. Yeah, exactly. There's all those. I heard the story. It's a device for transferring spirits from one body to another. And it's like I read the actual story of the artist who came up with it, and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's supposed to be just something that draws your attention to what the hell is that thing?
It worked.
It's just some kind of obelisk, and it's really, yeah, it's a trip. But Hypnosis were notorious for coming up with covers that were like, what the? And this is no exception, really. It's a really cool concept.
All right, this one almost didn't make the list at all.
Yeah, we forgot about
By
it.
mistake.
We just missed it.
I was going through literally last night pulling records out, and I'm like, wait a minute, Angel. Hello, Band. The second album from them. This is less proggy than the first, less keyboard oriented than the first, which was, I mean, songs like Towel were very
this is
proggy.
more guitar oriented.
This is more guitar oriented, more hard rock, still in that pomp like area like Stars and that kind of thing. But
this one has chicken soup. Yeah.
this album, front to back, great album. Honestly, if I would have seen this before last night, it probably would have gone in my top 10. I just like it.
Yeah, when you pulled it out today, I'm like, oh damn, I can't believe we both missed it.
And I'm not gonna be able to without looking it up. I can't remember which song it is, but the vinyl version of this is different than every other CD version
the CD ones are edited.
The CD one is, I don't know why it's different, but there is a intro to one of the songs. It's not that long.
I wonder if it was just space reasons.
Any way you want it. No, because the CD's longer. It's on here. It's not on the CDs. And I recently picked up the Angel box set, which is supposed to be from the original master tapes, and it's not on there either. So
thank God we got the vinyl.
Yeah. But anyhow, just straightforward hard rock. They always had the antithesis of Kiss look with the all white and the.
Oh, this one's a little bit closer.
The poofy, the poofy hair and the.
The Angel's got the devil horns on it.
Yeah.
Not on the back one though.
Nope.
Not on that one.
But if any band ever was a precursor to the 80s look, there it is right there, and this is 76.
Yep.
I mean,
really, 72 to 76 were huge glam years. The original glam rock, Bowie, Mott the Hoople, all that stuff.
And these guys are touring together now. Frank Domino and Punky Meadows are touring together. I'm not sure why what's the name, drummer? Barry Brandt. I'm not sure why, because Barry Brandt was with Angel for years after they broke up. They came back together, recorded that one album.
And Greg Jeffrey is like a real estate agent somewhere.
Something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
Mickey Jones, he left after the album after this.
Yep.
I'm not sure whatever happened to him, but
yeah, great album. Deserves to be in the list. If not in the top 10, at least it's in the top 30.
Yep. All right, let's do this one. Blue Oyster Cult. Agents of Fortune. This probably was their seminal album because it had their biggest hit ever, "Don't Fear the Reaper." This probably is the one that garnered them the most success, I would say. I mean, still, that's their signature tune.
Yeah.
What other cuts on here that I really dig? ETI, Extraterrestrial Intelligence, great song. Revenge of Vera Gemini has this, or Gemini, has, I think it's again an spoken intro by Patti Smith. And it's not the first time they've collaborated with Patti Smith. She wrote the words to Career at Evil that was on Secret Treaties, the album before this. What else is on here? Let's see. It's funny, man, because I'm not super familiar with this album.
I am not either. I love Lorster Cult. They're one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, but this
the
one,
first 3 albums,
can't get enough of those.
Exactly.
This one and Spectres, for some reason, they kind of slipped by me.
Yeah,
other than the big hits.
That one, Spectres and Mirrors, I like them, but they're not. And then they
Mirrors, I'm totally not familiar.
Then they put Cultosaurus Erectus out, and I love that album. And then the one that followed up that was Fire, which I love that album.
Kill it. One of their
so
best.
This is probably their most popular album,
and
the most popular album cover.
One of the cool things about this album cover is it's the same artist that did the cover for Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath.
Oh.
Same guy. I don't remember his name.
I remember if you ever
cool gatefold.
I remember going to youth group things, and this album always showed up in those anti-rock videos
because he's holding the tarot cards.
Yeah.
And then nobody really knew what the Kronos Cross was, so they all came up with their own ideas of what it was. There's some very creative ideas that came out of the witch hunt of the 80s with music. I don't remember what's in here. Oh, totally forgot. Cool shot of them doing roulette on what appears to be the surface of the moon. Or, yeah, I guess
that's supposed to be Earth, right?
Yep. You got a picture sleeve in here? No.
No.
Columbia Records. Pretty neat. Really cool classic cover. Good album. Not my favorite by them, but it's definitely good stuff.
This one as well. It probably should be in my top 10. It's just
another one we forgot.
Basically, it wasn't in the original list, and it came in later. But I don't know. It's just a great album. But
yep.
Ted Nugent Free for All.
Featuring Meatloaf on several songs.
Yes.
On vocals before he broke.
Ted Nugent's ego was kind of pushing out the original vocalist.
Seriously, Ted Nugent ego?
No,
that's hard to believe.
Derek St. Holmes. But Derek did sing on one song on here. I believe it was.
Was it Hammer Down? No, that was Meatloaf.
No, it was.
There are alternate versions.
I think it's Writing on the Wall.
Alternate versions came out when remasters for this came out, and some of the Meatloaf songs had
Derek St. Holmes on it. Yeah.
I think this has a picture sleeve in it.
I believe it does too. Turn it up, turn it up. Yeah, this is a great record.
Yeah,
Nugent sang on Free for All, one of his seminal songs.
Not much of one, but it's just kind of blank on one side and just a band shot on the other.
And who was in the band shot? So it
ain't Meatloaf. It's Derek St. Holmes.
And then Nugent was the alpha male, and he's like, my name is on the cover. I'm singing the hit songs. And
well, I mean,
on the first album, he didn't get his way. Derek sang a lot of the hit songs. And I know it could be said that Derek's technically a better singer, but
Ted's got the character.
Ted's got the character, and it is Ted's band. I mean,
it's his name. It's true.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not like he hadn't paid his dues.
But great songs on here. Free for All for sure. Together, awesome song.
I always liked. What's the one? Oh, come on, Dog Eat Dog.
Dog Eat Dog. Love that. He still plays that one in concerts these days. Turn It Up, kind of upbeat, Bo Diddley kind of boppy song.
Yep.
Turn it up, make it louder than hell. Turn it up, turn it up. It's
And Ted never lost his rock and roll roots either. There was always that aspect in whatever he did.
Yep. So anyway, Ted Nugent, Free for All.
All right, next in